Welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
And I'm back. I'm Zombie. Your eyes do not deceive you, for it is not Monday. It is Friday night. And this is ADHD Theater.
That's right. Heck yeah.
How we doing?
Mom says, hey, y'all. I know I'm good. I'm excited that you're back. And, it's not Monday and it's Friday. Because there's been a couple weeks, especially this one. Because I was like, oh, man, I think Zombie said he wanted to watch that movie too. Oh, man, I totally suggested it.
I was not able to watch live last Friday, so I did catch the replay. And when it got to movie suggestions and I saw that, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what I suggested. I'm going, oh no, am I going to be able to make this one?
Right.
So I am here barely by the skin of my teeth, but I am here. Derry couldn't join us for the intro here. Maybe he'll pop in a little bit later. He had some stuff he had to take care of.
Yeah.
But he wanted to let you know that Derry cares, and so do we.
That's right. Oh boy. Oh, so yeah, that was my next question. Did you get to watch it? So yeah.
Yep, I sure did. I mean, it has been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
Hell of a week. Monday was very uncertain. I've said before, I live in South Louisiana. It's hot all of the time here. Middle of the winter. Middle of the winter. That is not an earthquake, I promise. It's still hot. We wear shorts and short sleeves for Christmas. It's that kind of weather down here. So when the Arctic blast moved through the country, and they're saying, yeah, it's going to dip down to the southern states, and then there's precipitation coming.
You don't even know how to pronounce that word. That's how much you don't get it down there.
So it's a different type of precipitation. Usually we're very wet. I live in Louisiana. We have swamplands, yes, but we don't get snow. It's been over 100 years since we got the type of snow that we saw Tuesday. And people down here don't know how to act.
No.
All you northern neighbors up there that get it all the time, whatever, no big deal. It's snow. We got supplies. We know how to handle it. Yeah. Down here, people are fools. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to drive. We don't have chains for our tires. We don't put salt on the roads. We put sand. Y'all got the market cornered on the salt up north. There's a little bit of it down here, but not much. People just don't know what to do. And they proved it in spades. People ending up in ditches and pileups and accidents. But it's not all bad. Some fun stuff came out of it. My kids never got to see actual snow like this. We've got a little taste of it, back in 2017, but it was really kind of a light, wet snow, and it was really just a light dusting. We didn't really get what we got Tuesday. Tuesday was full on like blizzard conditions. It wasn't just coming down, it was going sideways. The wind was picking up, whipping, all kinds of crazy weather we just never see down here. So it was very interesting, and it was like light and fluffy. So that was an experience all in itself. You step in it and you sink down, and it's like 6 or 8 inches, and you're like, whoa, okay. So yeah, it was fun. The kids loved it. I got to spend some time at home with them.
Yeah.
But all good things must come to an end eventually, and I did have to go back to work. Luckily though, all of this snowfall happened on my regular days off.
Right.
And I was not on. We're separated into Team A and Team B. Team A, where I work, has to be on site during whatever event is happening. Usually for us, it's hurricanes. And you spend the night there, you sleep there, you do everything there. You are not permitted to leave. I was on B team, so we show up and put everything back in order, get it back up and running like it should be for normal operations. So I lucked out. I'm real lucky with this. It's a once in a lifetime thing. Probably never happen again down here for us. So I told my kids, remember this. We took lots of pictures.
Yeah,
you're gonna be a grandma by the time this might happen again.
Right. So, yeah, man. I remember you were texting me and you're like, it's so fluffy. And I just kept thinking of that
from
the meme
Despicable
from
Me.
Despicable Me, where she's like, it's so fluffy, and I'm just like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh yeah, he wouldn't know that. It's just like, it's snow. Nope. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, snow's fluffy, and I'm like, no, wait, he doesn't get snow. Right. I had to remind myself that.
We get slush down here. We get wet sleet.
Yeah.
That's the best we get, but this was like a dream. So it was cool. It was really cool, so yeah, it's been an interesting week here.
Yeah. Well, it started off good. You got to experience that awesome snowfall and have some fun. That sounds like a dream. I know we're never prepared, and we live up here. And it's like, by the time it doesn't snow regularly for us enough to warrant the full gear. It's like, just grab a coat and head out. Fine. Maybe a hoodie is how we roll, but like, we don't warrant enough to get the full suspender outfit with the gear attached to it. It's like, now we just run out there. But I don't know. None of us, it was freaking cold too, so I don't know.
So last week, speaking of gear, last week I was out, I went picking up, regular normal supplies. And I saw one of those it's like a mat that has a lip on it, a raised lip for your shoes, and I'm thinking, we don't have anything like that. I mean, the most we get, we could use it if we're out in the yard or whatever and it's muddy. So I didn't buy it. And in hindsight, I probably should have, because we didn't have anything after, going out and then coming back in. I told my wife, get a couple of old towels and sit out, because our shoes are going to be a mess.
Right.
So we just roughed it.
Yeah. So my mom said, we had wind chills -20 up here.
Yeah. I know what -20 feels like. Trust me. Because of some of the equipment where I work, there are walk-in freezers, and it's, it's -20.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whew, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You bring a coat.
That's right. Oh boy. Well, let me do this here real quick. Dun 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 dun. All right, so we have a sponsor for the third year in a row, Cindy Koepp. So here is a brief introduction / trailer from her, and we just want to say thanks again, and without further ado, right.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, Cindy is awesome. We have he says Cindy is awesome. Books, comics, crafts, learning materials, absolutely awesome. And so we really appreciate her sponsorship of the Madness Network. It lets us do our thing and continue to stream on the things that we like to stream on and stuff like that. So it's just a real great opportunity. So we appreciate her very much.
Yep. Sponsors like her make it easier for us to do what we do.
That's right. Oh boy. So let's go to let's do this here. So I know you had a busy week, but have you watched anything recently or?
Let's see. What you watching? I've been watching Us. I've been catching up. So there's a lot
Right.
that I've missed. You know, it is what it is. You know, that's the nature of my job. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in it deep, and there's no way out except just to march through it. You know.
Yep.
So any downtime that I did have, I was pretty much trying to catch up on shows that I've missed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So no polished entertainment, so to speak.
Yeah, because we're definitely unpolished.
It's been the diamonds in the rough like us. You see what I did there?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, no, just us.
That's
But yeah,
fun.
what you been watching?
Oh, geez. Feel like I've been watching Longmire. Oh, good grief. Kids keep blowing up my phone. Other kids, not my kids. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, I've just been watching Longmire. You know, I have a lot of time where my kids are off doing schoolwork, so they're busy, and I have a lot of time to myself where I just sit around, look at my toys, and you know, outside of doing dishes and other things like that that I have to do. Yeah, so I watched Longmire, and we recently finished up the first season of a show called Laid. It's a really weird show. It's on Peacock, and it's about this girl who she's in her 30s or something like that, and all of a sudden, people she has slept with start dying,
Mm.
and it's just weird because it's like extraordinary coincidence, and like someone gets blasted in the head with a foul ball or you know something like that, and just randomly it's just like what.
What kind of Final Destination shit is this?
Right. So one person like had a heart attack and died, and it was like, I don't know, weird, but it wasn't like during the event, it was after the event. So her friend starts helping her piece together, and they do a sex timeline where she writes down like all the things, all the people she slept with over the last several years, I guess, apparently, or since she first, I don't know, started hitting her stride, so to speak.
Mm.
But anyway, so it just one right after another in the order that she had slept with them. So that was another thing that was weird. So you go through the whole season, and meanwhile, she's planning a wedding for this dude whose parents are celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary or something. And so it's weird because she finds him attractive, and like he's the peanut butter to her jelly, so to speak.
Uh-oh.
And things are just clicking. And meanwhile, she's like, I can't be clicking with him because, you know, my vagina is basically killing everyone. And because that's what she thinks. She was thinking long COVID or, you know,
Oh,
weird
God.
things like that. So it was wasn't a show we normally watch, but it was weird. And I found myself just still watching. I'm like, okay, want to see where this goes. And so it ends sort of on a cliffhanger. So I'm hoping we get a second season just so that we can get some sort of answer to what exactly is happening. Because at one point they're like, oh, well, someone, blah, 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 hex, stuff like that. But I don't know. So we finished watching that, and I'm upset because we were gonna start watching Animal Control. It's a show with Joe McHale in it, and it's basically him, Joel McHale's character, who is doing animal control, trying to round up animals, and they have weird interactions and things like that. So, but I went to watch that because we like to watch half-hour shows. Me and Pumaira like to watch half-hour shows before she goes to work, and so went to go put it on, and we had watched the first season. Apparently, the second season happened, and the only thing available was to watch the third season. So it's like a bummer with that. It's like the second season. Why can't we see that?
That's weird.
Yeah.
What is that on?
Again, Hulu. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, Joel McHale's funny, and it's just a fun show. So, and it's better than the show called Laid.
There was lots of things that watched that one.
There was lots of things that were weird about that show, but it was a half hour and we had nothing else to watch because we didn't want to watch the Superstore out that because that's pretty much April's job, day in, day out. That's her job essentially. She doesn't want to deal with that, in her off time. So she's like, yeah, I don't really want to watch that. So we didn't and found this show, and the premise was interesting. The trailer was interesting enough to be like, okay, let's see where this goes. And it didn't wrap up when you'd think it would wrap up. It just kept going, and it's like, now we need an answer. So Peacock, give us an answer so we can stop watching. Just kidding. But yeah. Yep, that's pretty much it.
Sounds like a slow week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just opened the Cat's Lair recently, so it's been a lot of cleaning and dealing with cleaning this, moving this over here to see if that goes here. Nope, doesn't go there. Move this over here. Nope, doesn't go there. It's like trying to puzzle out where it goes, because where I had wanted it to go, it doesn't fit at all. So that was a bummer. But probably just have to put it back on the floor where it was. But I want to find something to put underneath it. And I was thinking about that. I know this is normally something we would talk about on the toy show, but there's that the stuff that people use for like dios.
Oh, yeah, like that pink foam insulation stuff. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was thinking about something like that, because then I could essentially paint like the ground or something around it to sort of. But yeah, I don't know.
So I think that the pink stuff comes from Home Depot, and Lowe's has a similar product. It's blue, but it's not as good.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, but we could talk about that.
Yeah. Another time. Let's see what else. There's American Primeval, which I've been wanting to watch. Oh, here's a show. We just finished season 3, I think it is. Yeah, season 3 of Mayor of Kingstown. We just finished that. And so that was pretty intense. Looking forward to season 4 when that comes out. Hopefully that comes out fairly quickly, but probably in like a year or so. So American Primeval is good, huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, is odd. I read that wrong. Is odd.
No, I think you meant good because underneath the next comment. Says,
oh yeah, he says good. Yeah. Okay.
Mr. G.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that is a good. We've only seen the first episode, but we've been behind on all the other shows, so we're trying to get through that so that way we can watch it. So, but luckily, I do believe that we are going to do a review show on American Primeval later on, like once we get to watch it, once Pumira and I get to watch it, and then Derry plans on rewatching it again because it's only 6 episodes, so that's easy for him. And then we'll watch it.
What is that streaming on?
Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't say that it sounds familiar, but I don't think I know anything about it.
Yeah. It's it has I almost said Tyler Hoechlin, but that's not right. It's Taylor Kitsch. It has Taylor Kitsch in it, the dude who played John Carter.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so it has Taylor Kitsch who played John Carter, and
it's John Carter in it.
Yeah, it's basically John Carter. But he wasn't. No, so in the first episode, he didn't give Scream like, oh, this is John Carter. So, but I'm hoping he'll get into that later because I just love his character. Him as John Carter is great, but I digress. So yeah, it's about the push westward for the Americans who were Americans, and their deals with all the immigrants that came to the Americas and then pushed westward and whatnot. And so there's a lot of brutality and stuff like that as they push forward out west. It's just brutal. Yeah. Excuse me, my throat's dry.
Little product placement there.
But let's get into the without further ado, let's get into the movies of the night. Shall we?
Yes, let's.
Did you get to watch The Hunt?
I did.
Okay, good.
I did. We'll start with that one.
All right, yeah, that's the one we just watched. Well, we watched that one first too. So, where did my media? And then where did it go? Okay, just making sure I got my movie rating system up. Want to be able to say that?
But my ratings, by the way, are complete knee-jerk reactions. So I give no deep thought into it, just whatever sings at the time. It's like, yeah, that one kind of felt like
Yeah. No, I get you. I feel that way a lot too, but
I don't sit and contemplate these things.
I do because I'm like thinking like, how would I rate this?
No.
But I also rate them on IMDb. So IMDb rates it out of a 10 scale, and ours is only 5. So it's like, okay, how would this translate here? But anyway, I digress. So yes, I was surprised. The hunt had now I forgot her name. Do you remember her name?
You got to give me more to go on. There's more hers in that movie than just one. So,
Is there? I thought there was only one.
are we talking about the blonde or the brunette?
The blonde. The brunette
Okay,
was Hillary Swank, right?
that's Hilary Swank. Yeah, I don't know who
Yeah.
the blonde is. I had
The
never seen her
blonde
in anything.
is she plays in Silo, but I'm trying to remember. Betty Gilpin. That's her name.
She
And
made some weird faces in this movie.
yeah, she did.
I like at weird times too. Like,
Yeah, she.
I don't know how to describe that. Like situations where like I don't know how can you compare this? Like when you're self-reflecting or thinking about something important, like that's the time she's making a face. Like,
Right. It felt like
should I
very
kill this
fourth
person?
wall. It felt like it broke the fourth wall at times because she'd be
Maybe
like,
a little bit.
you know,
Maybe a
like
little
just
bit.
doing
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, she had some odd facial expressions at some odd times. Like if you saw her face contort and do something, you knew some shit was about to happen.
Yeah, she was either about to kill someone or like I don't know, but she just made weird faces at weird times.
Yeah,
Um,
that caught me off guard on this one. I'm like, okay, does she have? Is she mentally
right.
okay? Or even at the first shot that we see her, she's crouched at the water's edge.
Yeah.
This other girl sees her and they're all gagged, so they can't really talk. They just
Well, hang on.
much
Let
as you can.
me get into the synopsis here.
Okay, yeah, go
I'll
ahead. Go
back
ahead.
up. We'll back up. So it
Set us
says
up.
it's a dark comedy, slasher horror, action, horror, thriller, blah blah blah. That type of thing. So 12 strangers wake up in a clearing. They don't know where they are or how they got there. They don't know why they've been chosen, but they've been chosen for a very specific purpose, the hunt. So they wake up like you said, they wake up and they're all gagged and they're at first, it looks like she's might be getting ready to pick the lock that because they were gagged and then it was locked. And but then you see her, she's actually rubbing a needle in her hair and laying it on a lily pad in the lake that she was crouched in front of and having that be the compass. So she gets her
Right.
bearings and then looks around and then stands up and takes off. Meanwhile, this other girl is over there going, because she's like, trying to communicate and she's gagged and she's like, what the heck's your problem? Like, I'm over
Yeah.
here.
So yeah, right off the bat, you
Right.
get the impression like, okay, she knows some stuff because
Right.
who out there lost in the woods, and what she did, she took her name badge off, broke the pin off the clip from her name badge or her name tag, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what she used for the needle to make the compass. And she rubbed it for static electricity in her hair and put it on the leaf, and it pointed her north.
Yeah.
Did you know you could do that?
I did, but
So I did too, and I learned about that a while ago, actually, from another movie. Not going to talk about that one though, because I want to save that one. But yeah, so right off the bat, she seems level-headed. She's not panicked. She makes a compass to get her bearings. Doesn't waste time with the other girl trying to scream at her, and just goes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know which way is north. Let me head north.
Yep.
Why is it always north? Why does everybody always head north? I don't. Anyway, that's the point.
Yeah.
So, and then we see the other. How many were there? Was
There were
there
12.
12? So there's
12
12.
total.
So
Yeah.
we see the other 10 like all coming together in this field, and there's a crate, and you got one guy just heading straight to the crate. There's a crowbar sitting on top of it, and then you got some redneck tubby boy with a baseball cap on, going, "It's a trap! It's a trap!"
Yeah.
Like, haven't we
Dude,
seen
that was
in
Wayne
movie?
Duvall.
So,
That was Wayne Duvall, and his name was Don in the movie. So Don is over there yelling out, "It's a trap! It's a trap!"
Yeah.
Through his gag. You're still gagged. It's a trap! It's a trap! You know, so
much like what's his
Admiral
name?
Akbar.
Admiral Akbar. I knew you was gonna. I'm going, it's a trap. Which in a way it kind of was. Some things happened, and so the first little blonde girl that we see is the one that saw the little envelope on the back of the door for the crate, which held the key to remove everybody's gags. So they go around one by one, and it doesn't work out.
Yep.
Doesn't work out good for a lot of them right off the bat.
Yeah.
So before we get to this point, though, we see there's some people flying in a jet. Yeah. And they're talking and having conversation, and these are really well dressed people, and they're talking about caviar, and one of them's really rude to the flight attendant who's just trying to do her job, and then this guy just comes barreling out of the back, like freaking the hell out, and then everybody else is freaking out, and they're trying to calm him down, and they're saying stuff like he woke up too early and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then one of the older gentlemen kind of walks up. He's trying to calm him down, saying, "Hey, it's okay. I'm a doctor. Look, you're delirious. Lay down," and all that kind of stuff. And then, like, he gets a pin and just jigs the guy right in the neck. So the guy's got like blood skeeting out of his neck, freaking out, and everybody's going, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that yet," So you're going, "What the hell is going on here?"
Right.
So they're all freaking out, and from that scene, we kind of get the idea of, okay, we kind of know where this is going now. If you're clever enough to figure it out, these are important rich people to be on a private plane like that, and they've got somebody, and they drag him to the back, and he's saying, help me, and he's bleeding out, and you see they pans over to another woman that's tied up, completely out of it, and then that's when we're treated to the next scene where everybody's starting to wake up out in the field and everything. So actually, it was 9 others that were walking out in the field, not counting the other 2. So anyway,
well, and
so
not to mention there was a text message that went back and forth for a beginning. In the very beginning, you had
yeah.
And they're talking about, "Oh, I can't wait to, whatever, hunt these people." And they're like, "Don't even talk about this. I'm deleting this thread, blah, blah, blah." And so it was like these 2 people going back and forth in a text chain. It's just like, yeah, I'm not going to acknowledge this. I'm deleting this chain.
Yeah.
And so you think, okay, but you still have to wonder. And that's the title card. It zooms in on the hunt. And you're like, oh, okay. So that must be what this is about. Obviously, title of the movie too. But
so it's a very common concept now about people hunting other people for sport and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty much what
Ready or Not.
Be. Yeah, like Ready or Not. This movie very much felt like a sequel to me to Ready or Not. Like that character that survived all of that shit from Ready or Not went into the military, which we find out later our main lady in this movie was in the military and everything. And learned a few things and then somehow got mistaken for somebody that got swept up in all of the stuff.
Yeah.
So it very much felt like a very similar movie. And then I'm like, oh, this is almost kind of like a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of, kind of. I mean, Glenn
it's
Howerton.
Not the same character, though.
No, definitely not. But so Glenn Howerton, who is one of the, douchebags in the beginning that was talking bad to the stewardess, was like, oh, caviar, I shouldn't think you, but so he just plays a royal dick. He's from Always Sunny, and he plays a dick there, and so he played the part perfectly, and so he's mixed in with all this stuff, and yeah, so
yeah, pretty much we find out that the group text that you had mentioned is kind of the fulcrum that set all of this in motion, because somehow that text chain got out, and then the conspiracy theorists went nuts with it, saying that oh, see, this is proof that the rich elite have this thing somewhere where they kidnap people and they're hunting people and all of that stuff. And it wasn't a reality until it became a reality, because it affected those people that were
rich and
elite, well off. They were CEOs, they were millionaires, they did all this kind of high end type of corporate stuff.
Yeah,
but they were involved with this text chain. And some of them, were forced to either retire or step down or, give something up. And they didn't like that. So they tracked down these everyday people. And I forget the term that they used to describe them in that deplorables. That's what they called them. The deplorables, the people that would, the everyday man like us, that would come up with wild theories or whatever, or say something publicly online. Like one of them was a podcaster, and he said something. Look, they've got a manor in so and so area, and they, here's some proof and all that. They tracked all these people down. Those were the 12.
Yeah.
Of course, there were others. There were more people that jumped on this and spoke about it and everything, but they narrowed it down to 12.
Yeah.
Somehow that's. They agreed, let's keep it at 12 or whatever.
Yeah, so, the consultant. They had a consultant from the military who was saying, if you want to do this, you have to keep it low numbers, keep it to 12. And so they narrowed it down to 12, and they were even voting on, oh yeah, definitely that one. And you see Glenn Howerton again. And so Ethan Suplee from not How I Met Your Mother. He was in several things. He was in the show. Something about Raymond. Who? No, it wasn't Raymond. What the heck was it?
Can't help you. I don't know.
Yeah, he was in. Oh, geez. Oh, what's the show that has that one dude? My Name is Earl. He was big for, and My Name is Earl, but he's been in other things that I've liked.
Oh, yeah.
Like John Q, Butterfly Effect.
I knew like he looked familiar. I know him from My Name is Earl. He was kind of the dopey brother.
Yeah. There's one show like with I forget the name of the show, and I can't quite get to the thing in time. Let's see. But he's the he was the podcaster.
Yeah.
And
I felt bad for Gary.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man.
His name in the credits is Shut the F Up, Gary.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And he was right about all of it.
He was
in the end, he was spot on, especially in the train car where he's like, nah, there's something's not right with these people. They just so happen to be here. Where the hell are we? They're like,
Right.
no, 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 no. This is a plant. You know, at least one of them was. It wasn't the whole
Yeah.
group of them or whatever, which,
Yeah.
was kind of a weird setup, but yeah, like that one dude, he was so committed to the character. And then when they
Yeah.
finally got pulled off that train, and they're standing there and he's still going, no, 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 these people aren't who they say they are and everything. And then the one guy, and he's still going, whatever he's trying to speak. And then the foreign military people walk off, and then he just turns to him, Gary, and he's like, I knew it! I knew it! It's like, if you just shut the fuck up, Gary, maybe we
Right.
can get back on track,
Right.
I lost it. I was howling with laughter that whole scene.
Yeah.
Like,
I know we were laughing pretty hard too. And that's the thing. Pumaira thought this was really funny, but in like a twisted sort of way.
No.
So
like on the plane,
yeah,
up to the point where the guy like came after them, like he woke up, like they really seemed like they had their shit together. But
yeah,
once the movie progressed and it showed inside the bunker all these rich assholes that were just trying to kill these people because they said mean things about them on the internet,
yeah,
they're showing their true colors, and you see just how pathetic and stupid they are.
yeah,
Like, y'all thought y'all could get away with this?
yeah,
Come on, And then, of course, our main lady in the movie was picked up by mistake because she shared a similar name and looks to the one they were actually after.
right,
And like, yeah, you kind of fucked with the wrong person here. Because, like I said, she admits to have gone to Afghanistan, so she was in the shit.
yeah,
So she's not new to any of that, which explains how well she handled the firearms and the lack of in certain situations.
yeah,
So it was very interesting, and it kept me guessing a few times, which is refreshing because usually I could pretty much navigate how a movie is going to go, especially if you see a trailer for a movie these days. They give way too much away. It's kind of like, yeah, I already know how the movie's going to go now. I don't know if I want to see it.
right, right. And that's the thing of it. Sometimes it's I don't know, like I don't want to say a curse, but it sucks to be right all the time.
Yeah, I don't like predictable things,
Right.
because there's been so much of it that I've absorbed and I've seen, and it's a lot of it is so similar. You kind of know what's gonna happen, so it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay. I didn't like this as much as I thought I was gonna like it. But
Hmm.
then something comes along, it's like, yeah, okay, that was pretty good. Yeah, that one
Yeah.
kept me interested in everything. And this one kind of did, because it was like, okay, people are dropping like flies, so you kind of expect, or who's next? How are they
Yeah.
going to get it?
Yeah.
But I'm not
And
going to give the ending of the movie away, so I'm not going to
yeah,
go
no,
there. So
yeah,
this
I
is
won't do that
one.
either.
This is one that I recommend. Even though we've said what we've said about this movie, there is still so much
There
in it that's
is.
like, holy crap!
Yeah. And I mean the brutality of it too, just in certain aspects, because all of a sudden,
Oh yeah.
they're just having a normal conversation, like, oh my god, I can't believe we're in this shit. And then all of a sudden, boom, her head explodes everywhere.
Yeah, or you see a and then there's an arrow
Yeah,
and somebody's like, "Holy shit!"
right. I won't mention the one that was brutal as a guy. I won't mention that. I won't.
Yeah, no, you'll know when you see
Yeah,
it.
you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it.
Oh, oh,
Dude, that was insane. But
that would suck.
yeah. Uh but it,
Oh,
like I said, I found it very entertaining, and it was definitely worth a watch. I'll just say, and Betty Gilpin is just fantastic. everything I've ever seen her in, she's in Silo, numerous other things. She was in Glow and stuff like that, but which I haven't seen Glow, but I know that she did a good job from what I've heard. Other people that I know that I trust. So,
Oh man, I gotta.
where do you rate this?
I would give this one. I keep wanting to fall in that same rut, so I'm gonna go up a little bit. I'll give this one a 4-star. I knee jerk. I would have said 3.5, but I keep going to 3.5 route. So I'm gonna go up a little bit. I'll give this one a 4.
Yeah, I will as well. Just because it, like you said, it did leave me with some surprises. I was just like, oh, that's actually a pretty good idea. Even though there's certain cues, it's like, okay, this is a hunting type movie. I pretty much know where this is gonna go, and our main girl's gonna be pretty much a badass and end up figuring it out. But other than that, it was still pretty surprising as it went along. But I still knew, like, okay, well, this set is a setup, and obviously that's they're in on it, or whatever the case may be, as it
Oh yeah,
came to it.
it's
But
obvious from the beginning. Like they
yeah,
don't try to hide that at all.
right. No, so that's where it's like it was funny. Like, okay, let's see how this goes. Will will the food be poisoned, or will the whatever be different things like that. So it was just interesting to see how they'll eventually
The only
die.
thing, the only thing that didn't really make sense to me in the movie was the the wait to reveal Hilary Swank's face. Like, because the first couple of times you see her, it's just, you see her from behind. You see the back of
Yeah,
her head, the mid back up. She's walking. Like, the camera's very deliberately behind her,
yeah,
shifting with her body so that it never shows her face. And then there's like this big, twist of the camera. It rotates through the room, and then you see her face. It's like, okay, so what?
yeah. I
Why
think because
that was weird to me.
yeah, I think it was just a twist because I don't know. I'm not sure why it would have been a big deal, but I don't know. I felt like it was a twist to show, like, oh, okay, it's this girl who's the mastermind or something. I'm not really sure why they would have, anyway. But
Yeah, I mean, even when the hunt gets started, she's not in the bunker with the rest of the rich idiots,
yeah,
and you don't really know that there's a woman in there. So you're thinking, okay, maybe that's her, because but she's got slightly different hair, but women style their hair different all the time, one
yep,
day to the next. But then you hear this disembodied voice, and there's a ham radio, over in the corner, and you're going, "Oh, there's someone else." So
yeah,
he's the shot caller. What's going on with that? And
yeah.
that's all before they reveal her face. That was just kind of a weird setup. I don't.
I Yeah, I think it was nothing more than just a building the excitement type thing. I want to say that.
Yeah,
I
like
doubt it's anything to look into too deep, but
I had no interest in finding out who it was. Like, okay, well, you didn't, because she was on the plane. That was our first glimpse of the back of her head. Like, oh, there's another person, but they didn't
yeah.
show her face. Like, okay. So from that, we're like, all right, well, she's the one in charge. Okay, so what? Why didn't we get to see her face? And then you get to see her face. It's like, okay, so what?
I think it was kind of like an Inspector Gadget type thing where they never show the bad guy's actual
That's
face until
wrong.
ever. Yeah, right.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
Right. But yeah, so I guess I will rate it the same. I think Pumira would be along in the same ride as that. She unfortunately wasn't able to make it, got called into work. Um
Do-do-do-do-do.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, four stars from us.
Damn it! Now you've got that song in my head. And because of where I work and I hear sirens all the time, that's nothing uncommon for me. Hear a siren come, it's like, damn it! It never goes away.
I loved that show when I was a kid, but
it was so goofy though.
yeah, it was. That was the fun of it.
All
All right, okay. So the Guyver.
Next, the Guyver. I hated this fucking thing that he kept doing in that movie.
Oh,
that stupid fucking post. Like, stop already! It's not working.
Yeah, that's not gonna be what summons the entity or whatever. So
yeah. So if you're not familiar with the Guyver, it is based originally off of a Japanese manga. Later turned into an anime, short anime series that later got made into a live action film in America. They made a sequel to that and then a updated short anime series. So there's media out there to absorb of the Guyver if you're not familiar.
So I'll just start with this.
The U.S. made movies now do not share the same storyline as the original concept from the manga or the animated series. It's very much Americanized. It just uses the same characters and the same basic story principles. So if you're a fan of the anime and you've never heard of these movies or whatever, don't go into them expecting them to be like the anime. If you've seen these two movies but haven't seen the anime, be prepared for a whole other creature.
Yeah.
Fair warning.
So my first exposure to this was the Guyver Bio Boosted Armor was the title. And it was just like, watch that mini series, I guess it was. And it was like, this is awesome. And then it wasn't until years later, I think maybe even Zombie, you mentioned it, that there was the Guyver movie. And so we're finally getting to watch it. And so this is a summary. The synopsis is a young man merges. Whoa, stop moving. A young man merges with a mechanical device, becoming a cyborg superhero. Strange creatures emerge, seeking to reclaim the device. He uncovers a plot to genetically engineer monstrous creatures. Yeah, so that's
pretty much it. That's the U.S. Live action movie right there.
Yeah. So anyway, I honestly.
So before you get into it, I recommended a few years ago for you to watch this movie because it had Mark Hamill in it.
Yeah.
And I remember you going, what? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Luke Skywalker's in this movie. But I also said he is a far cry from Luke Skywalker in this movie. So don't go into it thinking, he's not the hero. He's not the one that ends up with the Guyver units.
Right. Yeah, and it's weird because in the let me see if I have it. Let's see. Nope, I didn't choose the right thumbnail for the trailer. But on the initial trailer, it almost looks like Mark Hamill's half of his face.
Almost.
But the two of them are very similar in appearance. So they still have the weird, I almost said flaky, but it's not flaky. It's
like a feather.
Feather. Yes, feather. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
Very like late 80s, early 90s kind of feathering with the hair going on. So that's but yeah, no, He says
He
that
says that
movie's
movie is
almost.
almost as old as you guys. Let's see.
I'm a little older than that movie.
1991?
I
Just
may
about.
not look. I may not look, but I'm older than I seem.
I am about to be 40 this year. Yeah.
This movie. So what was it? What it was 91?
91.
91,
And
yeah. So I
yeah, I
was.
found it interesting how they even referenced the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at one point. You want to keep hunting Ninja Turtles? Whatever. It's just like,
Yeah.
ah!
No,
Yes, they
no,
said
no.
it.
The I was 11 when this movie came out, and I don't think I saw it when it came out. I
Yeah.
was definitely in my teens, but I know it was after I had been exposed to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So I had that. I'd already had that concept of people dressed up in suits fighting against monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make that kind of comparison here because the Guyver very much feels like a more adult version of a Power Ranger type of story.
Yeah.
Because it's very much more violent.
Yeah.
There is blood. There is,
Yeah. Instead of
he
sparks coming
kills.
off of them,
Yeah.
they jab them and boom, blood comes out.
Yeah, and like not a little bit, like guts come gushing out
Yeah.
and all that. So it's very much like, if Power Rangers were more real.
Right.
But not to say that this movie is a serious movie either, because it's very campy and
Mm-hmm.
it is very much a product of its time period.
Yes.
Very low budget. So we're not talking huge blockbuster movie. I don't even think this thing went to theater. It was probably very much a VHS release, if I had to guess.
Let's see. I'll look. Let's see. Box office.
Yeah, I didn't do any kind of research for this, but this movie holds a fond place for me in my memory because I remember seeing it, and it was on television late night on one of those late night networks, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I saw it from the very beginning the first time. I remember certain parts of it, and it caught my attention. I'm going, oh, what is this? I'd never heard of the Guyver before. So my first exposure to the Guyver was this movie. And then I found out there was an anime, and then, it was a manga first and all of that kind of stuff. So I later tracked down that anime series, that first one,
Yeah.
and I think I watched the whole thing. I remember maybe not. It wasn't until years later that I was able to watch that whole first miniseries because the Blockbuster in my town had maybe one or two of the VHSs at the time, and I rented those and watched them. So it's like, oh wow, there's got to be more, and there never was for me until years later. But this movie, the acting, almost every
Dude.
single line, it's like when you see people, like when shows are actively making fun of people rehearsing lines with different emotion.
Yeah.
Like they'll say the same line, but they'll say it with different emotion and stuff. So it all sounds kind of weird and not quite right. That's a lot of the lines in this movie, almost start to finish.
Yep.
The only actor that probably gave decent line delivery was Mark Hamill.
I don't know. There's some questionable lines.
There was a few that was kind of like, that didn't feel right.
I remember
But a lot of his were better than the other actors in this movie.
Yeah.
Especially the girl.
Oh, totally.
She's the worst.
Yeah. They couldn't have got a nice how many people were great? Like there's the other Asian girls that were like in Three Ninjas and what's the nunchuck movie with Sidekick.
Oh,
There's plenty of those other Asian actresses that were, would have done way, way, way better, and to be able to play off Mark Hamill. But Mark Hamill in that scene where he's actively acting with her, he just walks in. He's just like, "I'm sorry, your father's dead." Just
it's hard to
brutal.
watch.
It's just like, oh, you couldn't have said something a little more like consoling.
Yeah, he was very dry with some of it, but I mean, given the source material, you know, it, this is kind of in the same vein of what's some of those early superhero kind of movies that I had this on my mind earlier, and I had two that popped up right off the top of my head. Now I can't remember them. I'm on the spot and I don't remember
Mine
'em.
was Power Rangers for one. Like
So,
you
well, no,
said.
no, I mean the same kind of look and feel and tone. Power
Oh,
Rangers is all light and happy, but this is a little more gritty compared to that.
yeah.
I don't know. They'll pop in my head at a funny time on the show,
Well, while you're
maybe.
thinking of that, I want to give a shout out to some people in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
We have some Rumble lurkers. We see you and appreciate you. And Ghost Pepper over on Pilled. And Flip City is also on Pilled. How's it going? Thanks for
Hey,
watching.
Flip
Oh,
City,
boy.
getting her
Yeah, I hope.
there, getting her done.
Yeah. Oh,
I've
boy.
seen
So,
the ads.
oh,
No, no, no. This is very early '90s. That kind of offbeat superhero kind of feel. I still can't remember them though, but so it's not that polished Marvel,
yeah, no.
cinematic universe kind of thing, and it's not the greatest movie out there. But I tell you what, the costume designs were
Yes.
fantastic. I mean,
That's one thing I felt really, I really appreciated that.
the creatures, the Zonoids,
Yeah.
I mean, they had great creature designs. The Guyver suit itself was halfway decent.
I thought that was flawless in my opinion.
The
Well,
colors didn't seem right to me because he's supposed to be blue, and this was definitely a very almost amphibian spotted kind of black and green and maroon kind of. I don't know. It didn't feel right color wise for the costume, and he
fair enough.
was very short. That
Yeah.
also kind of threw me off. Like, wait, he's really short, not like a little. He's really short.
I kept looking at Mark Hamill thinking that, like, I was just like, man, Mark's really short. Like, and Princess Leia said it. Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? He is really short.
I mean, it is what
But
it is, I guess. But
right.
yeah, no, the costumes for the creatures were really, really good.
Yeah.
They didn't, it's not like there was an obvious zipper sticking out or something.
No.
I mean, they were really well done. The two standouts for me was the big brute one with the horn head kind of thing, and then the other one that kind of looked like a gremlin with the big lips.
Yeah.
That one, you could tell they spent a lot of time on that one because he was so expressive, much more than the others.
Yeah.
With the animatronics that had to go into controlling the fins and stuff.
Yep.
That was probably my favorite of the creatures, and he had such great character to him.
And I don't know what the actor's name is that played the human version of him, but I mean, it was just, he even started to rap at one point. It was just outrageous.
Yeah, he did. So this is the same actor, and I don't know the character name from that show, but like from Good Times, or was it the Jeffersons or whatever. He's the one that had the catchphrase "Dynamite," because
Oh yeah.
he even says that
He even
line
said that.
in the movie at one point. So that's the actor that played that character.
Yeah.
and he was great. I loved his performance.
He
Out of
was smoking
everybody
at
in the
the
whole
end.
movie, yeah, his was the best by far in the whole movie.
Yeah. Oh, but man, I mean, towards the end of the movie, I thought it was outrageous. Like, I'm trying to backtrack my thought in my head here. Hang on. And this happens sometimes.
I still can't remember those other movies so well.
Oh well, but so he says Jamie Walker. So that must have been the dude from that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Trying to talk about. Oh, so after he gets out of that goo. Okay, hang on. I'm going to backtrack again. So first of all, I think his name was Max Reed, who Mark Hamill was, right?
Mm.
Okay, so first of all, the best acting performance from that Asian American girl was when she was freaking out about Max Reed, not her boyfriend, Max Reed, the cop that told her brutally, "Yeah, your dad's dead." You know, sorry, kid, your dad's dead. Just like, okay. She was like, "Oh no, I want him out of there." Blah blah blah. She was all tore up about it. It's like you just watched your boyfriend die like a few scenes earlier. Really?
Oh yeah.
This is what you're upset about? What? So, so she gets him out of that goo, and this is the part I was wanting to talk about. I thought this costume was insane. So she gets him out of the goo.
Yeah.
Well, he was like in this weird.
Yeah, he was in like a Halo kind of setup.
Yeah.
Where they've got the thing around his head holding it still, and he's just kind of it's
floating
implied that he's in some type of, I don't know, soup or something.
Yeah. They referred to it as, oh, he didn't stay long enough in his soup or whatever.
Yeah.
So he starts, their story's all wrapped up. They're like, yay, we won, and they're getting ready to walk out, and he starts freaking out. Like his leg starts just snapping in half and spreading and all this stuff, and he starts like this starts morphing, coming out of this like weird cocoon shell thing. Things are starting to pop and bend at weird angles. It's just like, I thought that was a cool little moment, and it looked practical. Like,
yeah, it was a lot of practical effects. His was the only. So the detective, he ends up, or whatever he was, he does end up getting captured after the Guyver is defeated, and they take the control metal from the forehead. They pull that out of our hero's head, and he just melts into a puddle of goo. They catch the girl. They take the control metal of the Guyver and the detective back to Kronos headquarters. They throw the detective in the little apparatus gear and everything. They're transforming him into a Zonoid against his will.
mm-hmm.
After the other, what we thought was the big bad guys with the other Zonoids are defeated by our hero, who miraculously returns because the Guyver unit just made a carbon copy of him because it remembers his DNA or whatever. Some movie science.
Yeah, it was definitely movie science. But
so Max starts transforming. His was the only actual transformation shown in the movie. Everybody else is just in one scene of the camera. They show them, maybe they're running, or the camera passes in front of like a pillar or something, and the character walks behind the pillar, and then out comes a full costume creature, and you see shredded clothes get thrown out behind them. There's a lot of that going. So with Max, his was the only one that kind of shown the transformation almost in stages, not right before your eyes, but there was one shot where like one of the legs, he's like at this point collapsed on the floor, and his face is starting to extend, and like one of the arms starts coming out from underneath him. So he ends up being like this big like grasshopper looking thing, but he's still got like half a human head on top.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just sort of like extends through his mouth, and it's just
Yeah.
weird. But yeah, so that was funny. And I thought it was pretty cool how they did that, I guess, transitions, the metamorphosis.
Yeah.
But
there's like no CGI in this movie because that
No.
wasn't a thing yet, you know. And
Yeah.
plus, it was so low budget. Even if there were CGI effects for it, it would be extremely minimal.
Yeah, it would be probably garbage too. But I don't know. That's the thing I appreciated about this movie was the costumes, how they're very practically done, and they didn't rely on CGI like a lot of other things do. And like you said, there was no visible zippers or anything like that. But there was a one funny point, and I found this on IMDb. It says, let's see, where is it? It was right. Where is it? Dang it, I just lost it. Oh, shoot. All right. Well, anyway, so what?
I wonder if it's the point I'm thinking about. Go ahead.
Okay, so at one point after he reincarnates, essentially, they look down and discover he's actually naked.
Oh,
because he didn't regenerate his clothes. A different person, you know? But as they go to pan away, like she gets him a coat to put around him, a lab coat to put around him, and they go to walk off, but he was wearing tennis shoes. So there's a little goof up there.
Well, that floor was cold on set that day.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah. No, there's a bunch of little goofs like that, and I've seen this movie I don't know how many times now. It's been more than a few. Because I mean, as goofy as it is, I do like this movie. It holds a special place in my heart for me. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I very much am a Guyver fan. So.
Oh, hang on, let me get it in there.
This is an original release of the Japanese figure from Max Factory. So this is not the newer one that they released a couple of years ago. This is the original release version. You know,
that's awesome.
There's a good look at our hero. Now this is the design from the the manga, the anime.
Yeah.
So that's what you're looking at here.
And I think he did have the purple parts and all that stuff.
So, and then, but wait, there's more. They also released this guy, Guyver 3.
Oh.
And this is more of a darker. This is a darker armor, you know.
Yeah. I dig that.
So yeah, no, these are really cool, and I have opened these and messed around with them, but they stay in their in their boxes. Actually, they're on one of my higher up shelves behind where I broadcast from to you lovely people out there in the audience land. And there's a big blank spot, and my eyes keep going straight to it. It's like, that's not supposed to be there. I've got them down here with me. So, all right. No, I obviously like this movie. Dustin, how do you feel about it? With all of its goofiness.
Yeah, there was only a few like things that bothered me, like that were kind of like grating to me, and that was the transitions throughout the movie. Like, because I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and George Lucas and his team did lovely with the transitions and wipes and all those different things. It's just so like randomly cut scenes. It's just like abruptly cut, and
Yeah. Or you get
just
this big there's this giant V that comes through and it's a cutout and then it
yeah,
pans out. It's like, oh,
yeah,
that's a little jarring. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It was very jarring. Nothing was like abrupt, like nothing in it like made sense, like a fade or a wipe across the screen, and it was nothing that pleasant. It was always just like and just all this weird stuff. It's like, what the heck is going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
But so yeah, let's rate it. I again, I did like it. I don't think it was. Let me think here. I'm gonna say 3.5.
We make for a very boring rating show. We're a very predictable Siskel and Ebert because I'm the same way. I'm gonna say 3.5. I enjoy this movie. Now,
Yeah,
while it is kind of a favorite of mine for particular reasons, it's not. I'm not gonna go. Oh, this is a 5 for me. This is a perfect movie. It is not a perfect movie. It
yeah,
is
no,
far
for
from
sure.
perfect.
Yeah,
Even though I like this movie and I can pick out, it's still jarring some of the scene transitions, like you say, and then like the line delivery from most of the
yeah,
actors. And so there's three faces that I recognized from this movie, and you have to forgive me, I'm not big on names. I can't name celebrities like that, like some people, but I know Mark Hamill, so
yeah.
he obviously, when he came on screen, I'm like, I know that dude. The main henchman that transformed into the big bone crested zoonoid creature,
Yeah,
the bald dude,
yeah. Who was that?
totally recognizable. He's in a lot of stuff, and he usually plays like the big nasty henchman type of character. He's very recognizable. And then the main corporate lead guy, like the older guy, like I
Yeah,
recognize him from something. I just, even now, I cannot place it. I would have to look him up. I'd have to look up the cast of this movie first, find out who he is, then search him to figure out where I know him from. And all of these years, I still haven't done that.
right. So was that dude's name Ramsey, or was
Which
that
one?
Stryker, the bald guy?
No, it was like Lisker or something like that.
Oh, okay. Michael Berryman. Oh, yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
let's see.
see, as soon as you see him, it's, oh, that guy.
Yeah, but I couldn't place him as far as, geez, a whiz. So he's been, let's see.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like The Hills Have Eyes,
Hmm?
Devil's Rejects, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Weird Science. He was the mutant biker in that. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he's been in a ton of stuff. I could not place him.
yeah,
And it's like, I know I've seen him before, but he has such a distinct face. Like,
yes,
it's obvious. Like, it's like I know that face, but I cannot remember what he's been in.
yeah,
So yeah, that was one that was driving me crazy.
yeah. No, totally. I mean, when you see him and you realize, oh, I know this guy
Yeah,
because he's been in almost everything.
right.
But
Oh
yeah,
boy.
no. So yeah, and then I know you guys didn't discuss watching the sequel to this either, but I did send you a link to, hey, if you watched the first one, watch the second one. So
Yeah.
there is a sequel to this movie, and it's called Guyver Dark Hero, and it had a slightly larger budget than the first film did. A few familiar faces, from this one too. None of the original cast transferred over to the sequel movie, though. But the sequel, I feel like they had a better costume design for the Guyver.
Okay.
It was definitely closer to the source material. It definitely had that blue hue to it that was missing from the first one.
Okay.
But yeah, but two, it's it is a carryover. The story carries over from the first one to the second, and it explains how our hero Sean, who is the Guyver, ends up where he is. In the first film, it's very much happy ending. The guy gets the girl, and they ride off into the sunset and everything. But obviously something happened, and they are no longer together. When the second one picks up, and we see Sean. He's like having a nightmare, and he wakes up and he's in a cold sweat, and then there's this expose show on talking about this guy that went hunting with his brother in the woods and were attacked by a werewolf, and his brother's dead, and they're treating it like it's a joke or whatever, like he's some drunk hick. And Sean, through his dreams, have been seeing visions of
Yeah.
the Guyver and the Zoanoids and weird shapes and weird symbols and stuff, and he's been drawing them. And come to find out, there was an archaeological dig around where this guy ran into this werewolf.
Yeah.
And they showed like a picture that this guy drew of some of the cave paintings that he had seen, and one of them was a picture, an image that Sean drew in his little sketchbook from his dreams. So he's like, I got to get to Utah. So we get this montage of him hitchhiking from wherever he is to get to Utah, to get to this archaeological site. And when he gets there, because he kind of fumbles and bumbles his way into the site through this new chick that he meets, who's like this college student or something, and they're doing this study of the dig and all that kind of stuff. And there's like really heavy security for some reason. And come to find out, Kronos was a worldwide organization all along. It wasn't just in LA, the setting of the first movie. That was just the LA branch, and the government's come in and they've sent the secret agent in to try and figure out what all of this is, because they caught a whiff of Kronos and they're trying to track them down and all of that. And then they uncover a ship, and there's another Guyver unit that's recovered, and the Zoanoids that are there are the ones that people are seeing that are werewolves. And the fight choreography is what I'm getting to with this. It's so much better than the first movie.
Good.
By leaps and bounds. I mean,
that's good. Because
wow, yeah, this shit went away, and so with the sound effects and everything, or how the Guyver moves, you get that kind of like a lightsaber, depending on how they're moving and everything, and like a whip cracking and type of stuff where they're doing their they're posing and stuff. And
yeah.
So did you watch it?
No, I haven't, but I have it right here.
You gotta watch it. I won't give much more away, but it is so much better than the first one. Now, the quality of the link that I'd sent you isn't all that great, but for what it is, it's still a good watch.
Yeah. So I mean, it's there, and it's YouTube. So even if you don't like the movie, it's not like it's going to take any money from out of your pocket. So
so there are some subtitles there, and don't pay attention to those unless you can read Spanish. You just ignore them. That's the only link I could find, and I couldn't find it streaming anywhere else. So I'm sorry. No, you're gonna have to go to YouTube land for this.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when I saw it on Tubi. I was just like, "Oh, cool, Guyver! I really want to see that."
So the first movie is on Tubi. The second one, the sequel, is not. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah. So this link, and that was the link for the second movie.
Yep.
So fair warning, but you could totally watch the second one without having been put through the first one.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, the first one has its charm. The
Yeah.
second one is, like I said, it's got better choreography, it's got better scene work, it's got better transitions. Although there's still some that are a little goofy. It's
Yeah.
not as slap in the face like the first one.
Yeah. So
Um,
I mean, that's something worth watching in my opinion, because
I really think you're really going to enjoy the second one, Dustin.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I do plan on watching it. So I plan on watching that here soon, or at some point during the week if Pumira is not up for watching it. But
I can't wait to hear what you think about the second one, because
yeah,
there's some stuff in it. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that.
yeah. Well, that's
So
exciting. Because I
yeah,
mean, like there are a lot of missed opportunities I felt in this one. It's just like, oh man, why couldn't have he like punched through him and like just other brutal things like that, you've seen him do in the anime. Well,
yeah,
I know you have, but
yeah.
for other people who haven't seen it, but it's just like
So
I think that would be cool.
so in the first one, the for whatever reason, the guy that they put in the Guyver suit does a lot of like this. You know, like he'll get surrounded and he's like jazz hands all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That
Well, and he goes
that
back to
goes
this one
away.
move that he was taught in self-defense class at the very beginning that he couldn't even do right and wasn't paying attention at all during the demonstration. It's like, why are you doing that if it didn't work for you in the class and it didn't work for you at the street? Why aren't
Yeah,
you just punching your face through them and like beating the crap out of them? No.
yeah, no,
he,
no, no.
he
So
lets them come.
so
Oh.
the opening scene in the second movie like makes you forget all about that first movie. Like I'm not gonna tell you how it goes, but it's like, okay, I know what I'm in for with this movie.
Nice.
Because it is it's a really cool opening scene.
Cool.
And you're gonna love how they incorporated the sound effects on when the guy moves. And you know, we're used to the Power Ranger poses and everything, so
Yeah.
when he starts the pose, you're gonna hear that like electronic crack and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, that's sweet.
Oh, okay. We gotta. No, I'm gonna ignore that one.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's probably something that we can ban, but anyway, I digress. Yeah. So there was another couple things that the way he talked was like how it was like reverberated.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah. It had an electronic sound to it. Yeah.
yeah. It was like okay.
So that
I mean,
is
because it's not
something.
how the Power Rangers sound when they talk through their
Right, right,
helmets.
right. And now this isn't the Power Rangers now,
Right.
but and the voice thing carries over to the second one, which I like. I appreciate that because it would be kind of weird of, you know, it's an alien device that's
Mhm.
basically surrounded this guy's body. So there's like, you know, I appreciate the oh, excuse me, that electronic tone to his
Yeah.
voice. And even with the Zornoids, their voices aren't just, you know, regular human. There's a little bit of gurgle to it, you know.
Yeah, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, it felt disembodied. Like it felt like it was being broadcast from a different speaker altogether. Like if you're
Huh,
in a surround sound, it would be like a different speaker like up here instead
huh.
of out in out here like where the character was at. It would be up here and it's like I kept like feeling myself like looking up and over my shoulder to try to see where the voice is at. It's like,
Huh.
where is this voice coming from? But
I I didn't get that at all.
but anyway, let's pick movies for next week. I know this is obviously something I plan on watching. If you enjoyed the first one, even half as much as maybe even the description that that Zombie's given here now, maybe check out that second one. I know I plan on it. But let's pick out movies for next
I am
week.
totally unprepared for this. I didn't have time to even consider picking anything. So I don't know. This one's, Joker's wild here.
Okay, so there's something on
Just go easy on me because I don't have all these streaming services.
do you have Amazon though?
I do not.
Okay.
I have other means, but they don't always work.
Okay.
If you catch my drift.
Yeah. There was just a couple movies on there. Let's see, is it on Hulu? There's Arcadian, which I think was on Hulu. And let's see, there was another one, Abigail.
Oh, I do know about that one. Where they kidnapped the little girl and she's not what
right.
she appears to be.
Yeah. Those are two movies that off the top of my head that I've been wanting to see, and since no one else is here to talk about it,
we're at your mercy here, Dustin.
Right. I mean, so I know from the one Arcadian has Nicolas Cage in it, and it's one that,
what is that about?
I will look it up.
It sounds
IMDb.
familiar, but I can't place it.
Arcadian. Let's see. Arcadian. Nicolas Cage. It says here, God, go away. Father and his teenage sons fight to survive in a remote farmhouse at the end of the world. So this is like, and it's on, it says it's streaming on AMC. No. Oh, +2. Yeah, it's on Hulu. It's on Hulu and Prime if so needed, but so it looks interesting. So that's why I'm just voting Arcadian. And
and what's Abigail on?
Let's see. Abigail. This has Melissa Beret. Let's see. Click this, and after a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, pop-ups. They retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. So that, to me, looks fun.
Yeah.
That is, and those are both movies that I've been wanting to see since they were advertised.
Yeah. So what is that one on again? Abigail?
Closed out of the window. I know it's on IMDb.
Was that, you said it was on Prime or something?
Yeah, it was definitely on Prime. But I'm looking to see if there's any others. It's on Prime. Let's see, come on, give me. Where's the thing to show? It's not giving me a list to show other sources.
That may be the only place it's available then.
Yeah.
Let me see. How do you spell that?
Abigail.
Abigail. Abigail streaming. Amazon Prime, Google Play Movies, Apple TV, and Fandango at home.
There you
And
go.
that is it, folks. Okay.
It's either
well,
that.
I will do my best.
Romulus. What about Alien Romulus? Is that on any other? It's on
That's
Hulu.
I was gonna say I think that's on Hulu because I remember opening up Disney Plus a couple of weeks ago and I saw Alien Romulus and I'm like, huh,
Yeah,
that's
they
on
own,
here.
they own that now. They own that now. Yeah, so let's do what was the first one I suggested?
Arcadian.
Arcadian, which is on Hulu, and Alien Romulus, which is on Hulu. We'll save Abigail for another time when it's maybe more available somewhere.
I just got a sharp pain inside of my face.
Oof.
Right in my jaw. That was weird.
So let's go to the comments. Oh, and if I can type.
Wait, which one are we doing now? Okay, Acadian and what'd you decide on?
Okay, so we're gonna do Alien Romulus and Arcadian, since both of them are on Hulu and easy enough to access. I'll save Abigail when it's more widely available on another service or something.
All right.
So send that, and there we go. So those are the movies for next week. And then let's see, we're fastly approaching our 200th episode. So look forward to a surprise celebration. We'll probably do something to celebrate 200 episodes of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Universe. But until then, let's see, we have, boom, an interview with with Toy DNA on It's Frickin' Figures on Monday. So look forward to that.
Yep, they have a Kickstarter going on right now, and we're excited to talk about it with them.
With them, yeah. Who you?
Yeah. That's my brain working faster than my mouth can keep up.
That's my brain working half as working on a normal day. So yeah, I hear you. But all right, so let's plan for that, and we'll see you on Monday back here at 10:30 to talk about some toys on It's Frickin' Figures. And let's see, I gotta remember how to end the stream. So yeah. Until then, Thunder Nerds ho.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends, catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends, catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens